Okay, Survivor fans, we know the winner of season 38, Edge of Extinction. Chris Underwood came back from the Edge of Extinction and he won the final immunity challenge. He decided to give it up to take out Rick Devens in the fire making challenge. It was a huge move. The jury loved it. Chris won. I'm here with Kevin Jacobson and Susan Wazena. And Kevin, I'm going to come to you first. What do you think about Chris being the winner of Survivor? Because there's a lot of controversy online.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say hi. I feel like I just crashed the finale like Chris Underwood did. You guys have been doing this discussion all season. I'm just like, hey, guys. But I think it's I feel like it's going to have a bit of an asterisk. Chris's win, considering he was voted out already. He did not play like 29 days of the game. And that is kind of an issue for me and maybe other Survivor purists who kind of think it should be about the 39 days and that sort of thing. But I will say that he absolutely made the most of those last few days. And so I definitely understand why he won. He had the entire Extinction Island experience to make friends with people, and that's part of what Survivor is all about as well. But I understand why this is very much a controversial win.
And Susan, what about you? You were at the finale.
Yes, with you.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a little shocking to the crowd. And it was clear they love, Rick Devens, and he's very funny. And, he just walks somewhere and there's an idol. I mean, he's an idol magnet, But, of course, nobody else apparently cares about idols anymore. Or they misuse them like Lauren did. But I was thinking I don't think Extinction quite worked. And I have an item about that. But I think if they did it earlier with the second person, they timed it out better, because right at the end didn't seem fair.
Yeah. Like Rick came back in episode 6. And so he's been in the game for more than half of the game. So if he had won, I don't think there would have been any controversy at all. But because Chris came back in the finale, it just didn't feel fair. And I know they addressed this at Tribal Council and War Dogs. Like, the theme of the season is not,
on trial, right?
On trial. You guys are on trial. And he's right. I mean, you can't penalize Chris because, he's just following the rules of the season.
But I think those rules were wrong. And
I don't think they're going to do this again.
I agree he made the most of whatever. I mean, both socially and, using the tools of, traditional tools of immunity and all that. And, but the one thing that really drove me crazy was Lauren. She just lost her mind at the end.
I was so bummed because I was actually rooting for her.
Yes, and, I was too.
Just that last minute, I'm just like, oh, this is going to be the end for her.
Yeah.
I don't get why she gave her idol away. I think she definitely regrets that. Like, why do you need to prove yourself to this guy that just came back?
I think he got in her head with the idea that she needs to make a big flashy move, but the move was clearly not in her benefit at all.
Opposite of that.
Right.
It made her look like a fool, which she's not,
And then at the next Tribal Council, she plays a fake idol and feels even more like a fool. So
I hated that part because it made the women look stupid, and they're not stupid people. In fact, I told Rick Devens, I think this is the smartest crew of Survivor people. Not that they have all the physical skills and stuff, but as far as thinking things through and not doing too many dumb things or pissing people off, I think they're much better at, what you have to do all around, whatever the saying is, outlast, outplay, whatever. So
I think if they ever do this again, what they need to do is when they bring back the first person at the merge, all of the losers need to just go home. I think that was their one chance. I've been saying for weeks that if Reem comes back, I love Reem, but I don't think she deserves to win because she's been away for so long. And the same was true with Chris. And who were some of the other Aubrey? Well,
Aubrey.
Aubrey's a different story because like we know her from past. But what do you guys think of that? If they do 2 comebacks from Edge of Extinction, the first group of losers should go home and then start building up a new group at Extinction.
I agree, but I would also say that I kind of just want it to be one, just do it at the merge. I don't know if it's totally great to have someone returning in the finale, I just think that's a little too sudden.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if someone makes a mistake pre-merge, they get a second chance to come back into the merge. I think that's totally fine. But once it gets to the finale, I don't know.
I thought the whole Extinction thing was very anticlimactic because it's like beer bottles washing up with paper in them. I mean, I don't know. Was that exciting?
They get to read letters that they wrote themselves 3 weeks earlier. It's just,
that was so bizarre.
It didn't work for me. And another thing about Chris is we didn't get to see him a lot, even on Extinction Island. Well, we hardly even saw Extinction Island in the last few episodes, but it really didn't focus on him. I feel like I've said this before. They need to do like a web show of Extinction Island. Show us what's going on there, like a 30-minute show where we can actually see these people. Because once you're gone, no one's going to root for you, and they're going to feel like it's unfair if you come back and win.
Yeah.
It's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
But I don't think much was going on. That's what Jeff didn't think this quite through because this was his idea from what I gather. And he wanted some spiritual and some soul searching, and who cares? They do that anyway when they get distraught and cry. And Julie, I don't know, Julie's whole argument for keeping, it's like, well, I got emotional. I used my emotions. Well, no, that's not how you play Survivor.
I will say, something positive. When Chris took off that necklace and volunteered to do a challenge and risk his game, I thought that was one of the best moves in all of reality TV, not just Survivor. Like, such a bold move, and it totally made him win. I don't know if he would have won otherwise. What do you guys think?
Yeah, because otherwise he just would have kind of been like, I got back in the game, I got handed half of an idol, in the final 6, and I didn't really do much with my return. Whereas here, he did something very clearly at every single tribal council that is like building his resume with only 3 or 4 days. So.
Well, I think his problem is he's probably have to take a protection against Sia, because obviously she didn't think it was fair and gave Devins $100,000 for his part in the season. So that at least is something.
Yeah, and we asked Rick on the red carpet what he's going to do with his 100,000, and he said he's going to use it to start his kids' savings accounts or something.
Yeah.
So what else should we talk about from the finale? There was a lot of idol play, a lot of fake idols. It was very fun just being there in the audience. People were laughing their butts off the whole time and cheering during the challenges. What was the highlight that we should mention?
We're so focused on Chris.
That's the big controversy. There hasn't been a controversy like this.
Well, okay. The other thing he did was helping Julie do the puzzle. That was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's a highlight, but that was like, I've never seen anyone quite do that.
Actively helping another competitor. Yeah.
I think when he saw how far she was and he saw his puzzle, he's like, I'm not going to win. I might as well help someone else win, and maybe she'll take me
on.
Well,
everyone wanted Julie if they were going to go to the final 3 because no way she's winning. So, yeah. He's a coattail person.
Yeah. Kevin, what else happened in the finale that you would like to discuss here?
Well, speaking to the Julie thing, that sort of is a trend that is a little bit troubling lately on Survivor over the past 10 seasons, just with the older woman bias, I think is very real. And I think it's not necessarily saying that it's totally like an older woman is never going to win. We've seen people like Tina or Denise winning the show before, but it is a little bit troubling to me how kind of older women are dismissed when it comes to the final 3. Like we have Carolyn or Missy or Monica Culpepper or, any number of them recently that are just dismissed out of hand. that kind of bothers me. I don't know if either of you had observations on that.
I wrote about Reem voted off because all she was doing was hanging up some wet clothes, and she acted like a mom. And oh my God, who wants your mom on Fiji Island? I don't
Right.
know.
He wanted a mom.
Only Keith. Keith needed a mom, so it was a good pairing for a while. But she hung in there. She didn't leave. Wendy left. Keith left. They're way younger.
I know. I loved Wendy. Was my favorite of the new people. Well, Rick Devens too. They both were just so watchable, and they made great TV. I wish Wendy had stuck around, but I mean, we don't know how hard it was out there. So
one thing that doesn't happen as much anymore, maybe it's a Me Too thing, is they don't encourage romances. Do they? Because they're in.
Maybe they just haven't happened organically.
Okay.
I don't know.
No, I haven't. I mean, not recently. Well, I think Gabby and Christian had a thing until his girlfriend came for the family visit, and that was the end of everything.
Right. Well, I mean, what did you want to see? A romance with David Wright and Kelly Wentworth?
Sure. They had a connection. They've been through a lot together.
Yes. No, it's cool that Cochran was in the audience, and then he's writing that Star Trek Discovery stuff with David Wright.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then David Wright, who's in his mid-40s, they're applauding that he's growing up. What's
He's maturing. He has changed a lot. Remember his first episode of, what was his season? Millennials versus Gen X?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was very,
He was afraid of everything. People were hatcheting bamboo, and he was like terrified of it. And now,
like plugging his ears.
and now he's one of the greats, at least in terms of watchability. I could watch him for days.
Mhm.
So just because people are disappointed in who won, does that make it a bad finale? I mean, I thought it was a great finale.
I loved the finale, and I don't know if I've said this on the live chat here, but once it got down to those three, Chris was definitely the better choice between Julie and Gavin. I mean, Gavin would have been an okay winner, and Julie would have been kind of not a very memorable winner. I think she would be forgotten, but Chris, he did a lot of great moves, and yeah, he only played for 13 days out of 39, but I mean, that was the twist of the season, and he took advantage of the twist. And I mean, but Rick Devens definitely deserved to win. No one played a better game than Rick.
Plus, I mean, I can't remember laughing during a finale quite as much because of him. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
when he goes, everybody's doing good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And then the tribal council, where every single person plays an idol, and two of them were fake. That was
No, you don't. Jeff loved that too, like breaking their hearts.
Oh yeah.
So,
I wrote an article about the reunion show, how it used to be an hour long, and we would get in depth with all these people, and now it's like, you take out the commercials and all the fluff. It's only like 15 to 20 minutes of actual reunion. Do you guys want to see, Kevin, do you want to see that come back, or do you like this truncated version?
I do definitely want to see it back, even like if they just made it like a CBS All Access exclusive 1 hour thing, I'd be happy with that. But as it is now, it's really just breezing through and kind of almost feels like an obligation. Like we have to just get people together and talk to a few of them and then plug the next season.
well,
It just feels very rushed. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, with Jeff coming up with this, soul-searching concept, we want you to change your life through what? Being on a non-reality reality game? I don't know. But I think it used to be people would squabble, because they had feuds along the way and disagreements, and they would bring up sore points, right? They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, there was really no squabbles. I feel like Jeff was trying to create a squabble between Chris and Rick, but I didn't see that on the TV. I mean, he voted him out.
Rick say something like, "Oh yeah, I hate him. I hate him." No, we're great.
Yeah, I feel like that. You're right. There was no big drama this season. Like there was no. Remember Natalie versus starts with an A. Angelina with the jacket. That was great.
Oh my God, that thing went on 3 episodes?
It was a saga.
I mean, the jacket. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say Natalie and Russell, and Samoa, of him just being like, "You should not have won," just like openly. Ugh.
Yeah, there really wasn't a good jury moment either. I mean,
Yeah.
Kelly kind of hissed at Chris for asking Gavin a question, and then it's interesting she didn't vote for him to win, and neither did her buddy Lauren.
And neither did Rick, and we forgot to ask him why he voted for.
It is interesting to me that a lot of the later people who were in the game voted for Gavin, and a lot of the earlier people voted for Chris. I don't think that's a coincidence, because it's people who have spent more time with Gavin, and he did spend 39 days without getting a vote against him, and it seemed like a likable person. So I understand where some of those votes came from in the later part of the jury.
If Keith was still there, Keith would not have voted for Chris. Remember when Chris knocked him over going for that advantage?
It's true.
And I like how he used his salesman skills. The negative what?
Reverse negative or something, yeah.
Reverse negative that make the other person feel vulnerable. I forget. It's so, I don't sell anything to anyone, so I don't use that in my daily life.
I think we should wrap up by talking about next season. So it's going to be season 39, Island of the Idols. And Idols has a double meaning I figured out last night. I'm so dumb.
Yes! It took too long when they showed the big heads, you knew.
Oh my God.
It looks so cheesy.
I cried laughing at that.
What are your thoughts on Sandra and Rob coming back?
Who knows how that's going to work? Apparently, they go to the place where they are, and then they either can find an idol or get coached.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't you want to find an idol? I mean, I guess I would want to meet Boston Rob, but
I'd like to hang out with them. Come on now, they're legends.
If it was something like take a steak meal or get help from Sandra, I would take help from Sandra. But if it's an immunity idol, I would take the idol.
Wait, I think you have to find it though. They don't hand it to a platter like a steak.
Kevin, are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to whatever is the entire how it's gonna work out. I'm always curious to see them try new things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I love the sculptures. I think that's amazing.
Are they real? Or
I don't know. They look like paper mache or something.
But they look giant. They're scary.
They look
I love it.
Head.
I want to go there. I want to worship at the idol of Sandra and Rob.
I'm hoping they bring those big faces to the finale show, on the set, so that if I'm there, so that I can see them in person. That would be fun.
Yes.
Well, when we were at the finale, they had the extinction signs, those stupid 3 signs we keep having to read every week. And then people go, yeah, heck yeah, I'm going. And they take pictures. So we got pictures of ourselves with that. So.
Nice.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. Please comment below what you thought of Chris winning. We know you're going to anyway because you've been commenting for about 24 hours now. But thank you everyone for watching, and come back to Gold Derby. You can predict other shows like The Voice and American Idol and Project Runway, and award shows like the Emmys and pretty soon the Oscars. So thank you.